Global warming, natural disasters, economic crises, and unseen threats. The road ahead for humankind is shrouded with uncertainty. Is it better to fight against the odds, or to be intimidated by the difficulties? The future demands that we pull together to face the challenges. The world saw an unexpected turn in 2020. 6.5 million deaths and over 600 million infections caused by a virus.
救人、救国、救世，
救死扶伤。
We have never been before seen a pandemic sparked by a coronavirus. We have rang the alarm bell loud and clear.
Facing the rapid spread of the novel coronavirus, the southeastern European country Serbia needs urgent help. It declared a state of emergency on March 15th, 2020.
Ja sam danas uputio posebno pismo, jer mnogo toga očekujemo i najveće nade polažemo u jedine koji mogu da nam pomognu. U ovoj teškoj situaciji to je Narodna Republika Kina. Zamolio sam našeg prijatelja i brata, predsjednika Xi Jinpinga.
那一天刚好是星期天，我正在家里，天气还不错，正在晒被子，然后电话就来了，我看的是我们的医务处处长打电话过来的，去塞尔维亚，然后你准备好吧，然后可能会尽快出发了。
你这在干嘛？等老刘是不是？等老刘给你回微信是吧？你就这么等的？
其实我当时的心情是非常兴奋的，就等于满足了我的一个心愿，为这种国际的抗疫，或者是为塞尔维亚人民的这种抗疫贡献一份力量。
因为我们在武汉真的是零感染、零意外，打胜仗的回来。
3 days after Serbia declares its state of emergency, on March 18th, Wuhan, the first Chinese city hit by COVID-19, achieves 0 new infections, winning an arduous battle.
武汉，我爱你，就像老鼠爱大米。向着胜利勇敢前进，向着胜利勇敢前进。
For some medical workers in the city, a new battle is beginning. They board a flight to Serbia 5 days after President Vučić has called China for help.
昨天应塞尔维亚政府的邀请，并受国家卫健委的委托，由广东省组建的中国赴塞尔维亚抗疫专家组启程出发，为塞尔维亚应对新冠肺炎疫情提供援助。
那当时我们的飞机停在他的机场的时候，我们就看到这个总统已经率领他的一众官员已经在下面等待了啊，一个独立主权国家的一个总统来迎接我们几个这个专家哈，我们觉得当时还是感觉还是有点受宠若惊的。然后我们去的呢，感觉气氛非常之紧张。这个国家有它的特殊性，它的这个人口一直是偏少的，才700多万，因为它经历了战争的洗礼，男丁特别少，所以它另外一个的话，生育率特别低。
我们刚去的时候，他已经在17号已经封边境了，有差不多40万人从边境回来。我们在走访的过程中就发现了，他们是无症状甚至轻症病人是居家隔离，但没有那么多床位收。我们说这个不行，后来就说那怎么解决？我们说方舱。在机场的时候，包括到第2天到他的公共卫生研究所，第3天到他的总理府，他们跟我们表达的都是中国是怎么样做的，然后呢，你们怎么说，我们就怎么样做。我们来的时候是带了5万份来，对吧？对。然后如果士气够的情况下，那你人员就要进行培训，相应的这个能做的这个实验室也要扩大。一个呢，就是他们没有疾控中心，我们后面下到医院也好，甚至社区诊疗机构，发现 没有发热门诊，他们的一些检测的能力不能够匹配和赶得上这个检测的那个需求。
Tracing infections is the key to stopping the spread of a contagious disease. In just 2 weeks, China built a laboratory for COVID testing in Belgrade, increasing the country's daily testing capacity tenfold. The same type of labs are now providing large-scale testing solutions to more than 30 countries and regions worldwide.
火眼实验室的名字来自于中国的神话，就是喷火的眼睛，它能够看穿伪装的魔鬼。那么，我们也相信，我们在中国能够实现的胜利，塞尔维亚也一定能实现。
Lil Dayua was one of the earliest doctors to go to Wuhan. His experience in deciding who should be prioritized for treatment based on their symptoms played a key role in helping Serbia establish a refined diagnosis and treatment process.
结合当地的一些特点，把这个流程给你梳理出来啊。当胸片你发现有什么特征的时候，那这个病人是应该考虑新冠，那是应该去隔离或者是去送到定点医院去。那就是把这些我们的以前在武汉的这些经验吧，或者结合当地的一些实际情况啊，帮助当地来抗击疫情。
有的时候我们6个专家出去的时候，下车之前要穿好防护，然后呢，甚至有的时候大家工作投入的时候，一脚就踩进了污染区，自己都不知道。这种情况下，其他的人要提醒一下他，然后要把他拉回来一点。然后其实内心也还是担心感染。
最大的困难就是那种体力的那种，因为每天在车上啊，那种颠簸呀，这个真的回来骨头像散了架一样的。
With the help of the Chinese medical team, Serbia managed to keep the mortality rate among its COVID cases at below 2%, much lower than the average global mortality rate of 6.9% at that time.
Thank you for coming. I speak in the name of Serbian people.
Okay.
You is heroes. Wow. Thanks for the heroes elements of the friendship and brotherhood, China and Serbia.
Wow. China, Serbia.
Thank you.
Hvala, profesore.
Never make you speak.
等我们走之前呢，他们每天的发病人数只有几十例了哈，而且呢也建立了完善的这样的一个检测系统啊。那我觉得还是就是能看到我们做到的这些就是这些工作哈，那么是有了一个很好的这样的一个效果，所以还是心里还是觉得特别自豪和骄傲的。
On June 1st, 2020, the Serbian government decorated the Chinese medical team's members for their untiring efforts in the fight against the pandemic.
当时这个中华人民共和国的国歌在那里奏响，中华人民共和国的国旗在那里冉冉升起，感到很自豪。武林部长他说，任何一个地方你们都不觉得遥远，任何一个危险你们都不觉得没有办法解决。
When the fate of mankind is under threat, they champion the spirits of humanity, compassion, and devotion.
作为一个医务人员，那我们的救死扶伤是我们的天职啊，不管是在武汉啊，还是去塞尔维亚援助抗疫也好，其实我们都是为了救治病人。
我自认为自己是一个非常普通的医生，我们医院的这个校训救人、救国、救世，医病医生医行。有这么一次机会，跨越大洲、国际范围内去治病救人的时候，对我自己的人生是一个非常重要的一个经历。
我们在整个这个世界当中，大家都是彼此相互联系的。健康问题来讲，不单是我们一个国家要把疫情的这个工作做好，其实应该是世界各国都应该是共同努力控制好这个疫情，这样才能是真正成为就是世界一家人，也就是这种世界这个人类健康共同体的这种理念的一种体现。
Nepal, in the southern foothills of the Himalayas, is a country of Hinduism. The strong belief of its people gives them serenity and peace in life. But in 2015, this was tested when an unprecedented earthquake struck the country.
More than 150 people have died in Kathmandu, and the figure is expected to go up.
Survivors are still being pulled from the rubble.
The death toll is almost 9,000, injured over 20,000, with the request to donor communities as well as private sector to make necessary contributions.
The quake took many things away from Nepal's people, including their loved ones and treasured historical buildings. The Basantapur Tower was one of over 850 monuments damaged by the earthquake. It was built in the 18th century by King Prithvi Narayan Shah, who unified Nepal into the country that exists today. For locals, it is more than just a building.
These are the sites they use on a daily basis. They are all living heritage sites. They're not dead monuments.
It was very difficult for us. Certainly we need the support from the international community or the international donor country.
Nearly 10% of the Basantapur Tower collapsed completely. 80% of its walls were deformed and cracked. Local Nepalese could not just let the site crumble.
The problem, what I think, in the earthquake, why we lose so many heritage buildings, because they are not properly maintained on time. Many of the buildings which was collapsed, they are not maintained for many decades.
While rich in culture, Nepal is ranked as one of the poorest countries in Asia by the World Bank. With an economy mainly driven by agriculture, it lags behind industrially. The country needs help to restore its heritage.
Finding the right people to work on these historical buildings to restore them was one of the major challenges. We have very limited number.
To save the ancient endangered buildings, a group of Chinese cultural relic restoration engineers flew from Beijing to Kathmandu. Once there, they joined a team of international experts from UNESCO.
我叫郭倩如，是中国文化遗产研究院的一名文物保护工程师。我从2017年参加中国政府援助尼泊尔加德满都杜巴广场9层神庙修复项目。
第一次去的时候是16年，院里边组了一个工作组去的现场，看到地震以后，第一个呢就是建筑损伤非常厉害，它的整体的回字形建筑，就是它的建筑主体，用这个通俗的话说，震酥了。
Xu Yan is the project leader, with over 3 decades of experience in restoring cultural relics and heritage sites.
我们做这件事儿，实现一个让这个文物本身的历史信息最大的这个限度呢得到保存。你修完了以后，要和原来是一样的，因为文物维修本身就是一种继承行为。
当时我们就是一进入9层神庙的时候，首先做干预的其实是这个东南角塔，它当时整体是向临街的方向倾斜了大概37度。我们当时很怕它整个向外坍塌，所以我们一进来之后，首先对东南角塔做了一个排遣和支护。
No sooner had the project started than the first conflict of cultural restoration concepts occurred.
We had our own system of maintaining structures. Every time, maybe during maintenance, if a material seems old, maybe it would be replaced by a very new material.
在最早的时候，可能双方工作还是需要磨合。中国文物园修有一个尽量的少去扰动它文物本体的这么一个理念在。
你上次说找到这些图，我还以为是附件呢，我没想到
没有是原图，当时是就在一个小房间里面。 这应该是联合国教科文组织组织的70年代的时候，就是修缮整个杜拜广场时候的图纸。这个其实他当时就画挺细的，是吧？
嗯，而且太宝贵了，
对，特别宝贵。我们想做一个数字化，然后再整个移交给考古局。
我有照片，我帮你找一下地震之前的。
哦，谢谢。
因为它是敌人倒塌的，好些东西已经缺失了。所以说我们现在尽量能收集到它原来的构件，就是修完以后，我们一定要达到它修旧如旧。你不能说这些木头看到有点早修了，它几百年了，它肯定它就有点红化，但是它不在影响结构的前提下，尽量要保留它。我们搞建筑，干脆新盖一个不行了吗？那没意义了，就是几百年它才是反映它的文化和它的历史。所以说我都是从老百姓，你看我那挖都是旧挖，都是从老百姓家收的。
The Chinese team traced down original materials and techniques using documents provided by the Nepalese. These included a specific wood used during the original construction.
我们第一步做的呢是这个专业清理，有这个1万多件老构件，所以呢，这些老构件你后边把它分类整理、登记，找到它原有的位置，这个对维修来说是决定性因素。九层庙它大量用这个梭罗木，维修过程当中，尤其是骨配的构件，你一定要选择跟它原有建筑的这个材质是要一致的。
它这儿都是梭罗木吗？
यो हाम्रो सबै साल त हो नि हैन साल是的。
我们现在需要7.3米的木头，我不能有中间有断的，然后不能有重眼儿，然后不能有开裂特别多的那种。你跟他说，因为我要放在那个9层塔那个第7层，就上面还有2层建筑呢，所以它得承受一定的重量。
你怎么通过这个工作过程对它的传统工艺的传承起到一个促进和一个帮助的作用？只有尼泊尔的工匠才能够说呢，最大限度的保持它原有的这种工艺和做法。
当地的工匠，我觉得很奇妙，他有可能看到一个头，他就知道这上面会有一个什么样的佛像了，就好像我们中国人知道12生肖一样。所以在这种时候，我们是完全尊重当地人的意见的。
你们明天不是休息吗？休息几天？
他们是休息明天1天啊，还有2个人，大概休息1个星期。
就没关系，这因为是你们尼泊尔的节日，对吧？所以说，作为我们中方也尊重你们，是你们节日该休息的休息。OK 吧？OK， 还是我们
OK。OK，Thank you。
In July 2022, after 5 years of endeavour, the main body of the Basantapur Tower was completely restored. Today's Basantapur Tower contains 85% of its historical components. Recovered from its disastrous trauma, the ancient structure shines with the glory of its past, as well as the new charm of its restoration. Under combined international efforts, most of Nepal's damaged sites have thus recovered.
यो पार्टी मणि मण्डप भन्छ पार्टी भनेको जो पनि यसरी जो आएर पनि बस्न हुने ठाउँ के यो सबै भत्केको अनि कुनै ठाउँमा नयाँ टालेको कुनै पुरानो देखिन्छ खोज त कुन पार्ट नयाँ छ हो त्यहाँ माथि सबै नयाँ छ यो के हो नयाँ कि पुरानो नयाँ यो पुरानो पहिलाकै डिजाइन बनाएको बेलामा सजिलो डिजाइन बनाएको पहिला होइन यो त पुरानै हो यो भत्कियो नि भाँचिएन तर यो भाँचियो भुइँचालोपछि जस्ताको त्यस्तै बनाएको
然后在这个工作完成之后，我们用中文和尼文写了一个类似于修复题记的东西。如果以后的话，他都可以看到，就是中国的工作队在这个9层神庙这个修复历史上也是留下了一笔。我觉得这个就是你感觉你修复了这个文物，你就成为了这个文物修复历史的一个部分。
我就觉得做了一件有意义的事儿，起码从最终的结果来说，文物本体修完了。 这个我非常高兴，因为我觉得从这个保护人类共同文化遗产的这个角度来说，参与这件事儿，我觉得是很有意义的。
There will be less globalization.
In fact, I think we have entered an era of deglobalization.
The global economy is not a zero-sum game.
Threatens to tip tens of millions of people over the edge into mass hunger and famine.
Unlike disasters coming out of the blue, global inequality is today expanding at an increasing rate, with longer-term and further-reaching consequences for humankind.
Productivity will be less dynamic.
2022 was already looking like a terrible year for global hunger.
Food crises, a widening digital divide, shrinking trade. Over 100 million people fell back into extreme poverty in 2021, increasing the total number of such people globally to over 700 million. While the richest individuals hold some 1/10 of global wealth. As the second largest economy, what responsibilities should China assume for the world? China is already taking action. Firstly, in an area where it excels, building infrastructure. A new lifeline. That's what the Kenyans call this railway. Across the Great Savannah, it has some of the world's most splendid views. Up to 10,000 people commute on the standard gauge railway that links the capital Nairobi to the country's largest port city, Mombasa. People from all walks of Kenyan life climb aboard every day. One of them is this single working mom.
I miss my family a lot, but I also miss the weather in Mombasa. I miss going to the beach.
Working in Nairobi, but with her daughter living in Mombasa, Faith has long been looking forward to this 8 a.m. train that will take her home.
So yeah, I haven't told my daughter and my mom that I'm going home. They have no idea that I'm on my way. I'm on the train right now going to see them. So this will be such a surprise for both of them, especially my daughter because she hasn't seen me since May, 2 months ago. So I can't wait. And I know she'll be so surprised. She's gonna die, but yeah, she'll be so happy.
Being 500 kilometers away from her daughter was not something Faith wanted, but she had to make a difficult decision.
The father is addicted to alcohol, and there's no way I'll raise my daughter in a household like where somebody is drinking every day in excess. So yeah, I'd rather raise her alone. She learns better morals from me than being two parents who are constantly fighting over alcoholism, and she'll never be happy in that household.
Faith's 6-hour train journey is over, and she finally meets her daughter at the 6-year-old's favourite place. After being offered a job at Kenya's largest e-commerce company in Nairobi, Faith decided to move to the capital for a better salary.
Being a single mother is tough. I just teach her to be a strong girl, to be independent. Just hoping to provide a happy home for her. So I need to work hard, I need to work smart so that she's always happy.
Travelling between the two cities was a tough journey before. In 2017, the new railway went into operation and changed the whole experience.
Before the SGR, you had to go to CBD Nairobi to book your ticket for Mombasa. And there's so many pickpockets there, they're so crowded. This is not something that I would like to experience right now. It leaves at the specified time and it arrives at this exactly specified time. So it's very punctual. This is much safer than the bus.
Kenyans needed a new and modern railway. Changes came in 2014 when ground was broken on the SGR. It's the largest infrastructure project in Kenya since its independence in 1963. A Chinese company was contracted to build the railway and put it into operation after merely 2 years and a half. Kenya is only one of the many African countries to benefit from Chinese-built megaprojects. Across the continent, China has built over 6,000 kilometers of roads and railways, 20 ports, over 80 power plants, and 170 schools. Over 130 medical facilities. During the past 20 years, trade volume between China and Africa has increased 20 times, creating over 4.5 million jobs for locals. Today, the SGR has achieved revenue balance. The Chinese engineers who built it did not choose to stay. Instead, they trained local staff and handed over the operational railway to them in July 2022. Samuel, as a rolling stock technician, is one of 3,000 local trainees.
And when I'm doing those things to make sure that everything is happy, the customer is satisfied, that's my job. I don't want to hear a customer is complaining that there's no power, that the AC is not working. This is the biggest project in the country. I'm a pioneer of this project. We are the pioneer. This is my country. And when I'm working, I'm not working for myself. I'm working for generation after generation that is coming.
Just like Faith, the project has changed the lives of countless Kenyans. In the first 5 years of the SGR's operations, over 7 million passenger trips have been made. 16 freight trains run on the line every day. It carries 40% of the cargo between the port of Mombasa and its hinterland. All in all, the SGR has been a major boost to the national economy. Kenya's GDP reportedly rose by 1.5% because of it alone, and it is now an essential part of locals' lives.
I'm very happy. I'm delighted to work and to deliver and to be part of the development in my country.
So she's 6 now, and in 10 years' time she'll be 16. I'm hoping she'll pick up on extra better curricular activities. Right now she's doing judo. She wants to join the skating team here in Diani. I'm just hoping at 16 she'll be more independent, she'll understand a lot of things that are happening. I'll be able to answer questions and she'll be able to understand them. And hopefully she'll be in one of the best schools in Kenya.
Apart from infrastructure, a second area where China has excelled over the past decade is the digital economy. The World Economic Forum predicts that about 70% of new value created in the global economy over the next decade will be based on digitally enabled platform business models. Can China's success be applied to other regions with vastly different cultures and geography? Rita Huang, a Chinese female entrepreneur and internet veteran, saw a market opportunity in the Middle East.
我叫黄真，我现在在沙特利雅得，我是 iMine 的创始人。iMine 是一家专注于电商物流的快递公司。
How are you? Your name is Faiz?
Yes.
Yeah, it's your order from iMine.
In 2017, Huang founded a logistics provider, iMile, in Dubai. Starting with a handful of employees, her vision was to build the most efficient delivery network for local businesses.
我明显地感觉到我们在中国所享受到的极致的电商物流的体验，在海外是得不到的。
用中国一句俗话来说，要想富，先修路。所以我觉得物流是大概是这样一个角色。如果没有物流，就没有货物流通；没有货物流通，就没有商业。
Things work differently from the way they do in China. Mailing addresses, for example, posed a big and unexpected challenge.
中东因为整个的区域、街道和社区没有详细的规划。什么叫没有详细规划？简单来说，消费者填不出严格标准统一的区域地址和街道，这样一个问题就会带来地址是无法被识别的。
Efficiency of package delivery depends largely on the courier's experience.
司机怎么做的呢？司机会把所有订单打出一个纸出来，那他按照他头脑的思路，这个点在地图哪个位置，这个点在地图哪个位置，在这个位置，所以他是人脑再去画出这样一条先去哪儿再去哪儿的路径。
Luckily, China went through a similar experience at the start of its e-commerce boom.
我们会用数字化的手段去建立出数字化的地址库，在没有区域、街道和社区的这个东西上，我们做出地址库来，把用户一个模糊的输入变成一个地图上准确的经纬度，在分拨仓人员不增长的情况下，支持单量以后10倍乃至100倍的增长，系统会自动的智能的引导它先去哪儿再去哪儿，降低对司机和行业从业者的要求。
我们最近发现，我们的司机，尤其在迪拜，有司机原来只做50-60单，也干了一整天，他现在3个小时就可以做到40多单了。
因为相当于我们之前司机他是要打电话等回复，现在他不需要等回复，就是即使这个人没给我回复，我也可以去按他的门铃。
对，因为你知道怎么走。
The job of Iris Wang, who is a 26-year-old Chinese employee, is to work with couriers to adjust the tech system to local customs.
We will just add the navigate function. So you can just use the one to navigate. Now we can just show you the location, it's nearby.
Now, iMile's average package delivery distance has been reduced by 30%. Its services are making a big difference for local businesses.
沙特的整个模式是货到付款。货到付款的模式里面，其实整个的运行的成本是非常高的。那整个行业随着 iMile 的加入，签收率从50%到90%，90%的签收意味着什么？就是40%的货物在整个流通过程当中流通没有被浪费，那是跟整个社会节约的巨大的社会成本。
Empowered by advancing technologies and business models, e-commerce is burgeoning in Saudi Arabia, with market revenue reaching $7.7 billion last year. In e-commerce, in fact, the kingdom is one of the world's 10 fastest growing markets.
沙特目前是我们全球最大的市场，沙特的市场有非常强劲的购买力，同时也是一个非常优质的市场，他们对新的商品、新的商业模式的接受度非常高。
Chinese innovation is making its mark.
我们在创业的早期的时候，很多人的思想的认知里面还觉得中国公司还是10年前那个只是会做传统贸易，做倒买倒卖的这些小商小贩和小老板。Things are really different, but we still have a long way to go in Saudi, and we want to go develop ourselves in Saudi for a long term.
I will have potential to grow with them. We can give them like a cheaper price to join in us and to make their life easy with them.
Looking ahead, Rita Huang wants to share China's digital technology with more people.
When we start with iMile, the things which we like it, the first thing is technology.
All the technologies in-house is easier. We want to focus on last mile, and we want to enhance the coverage, not only for one country particular. 我们希望未来形成一个全球化的电商快递网络。
While boosting development in foreign countries by building them infrastructure and increasing their digital capabilities, China is also opening its own market wider to the world. Globalization has driven the country's near 10% average annual growth rate since the late 1970s.
The global supply chain crisis is happening right now.
Supply chain isn't functioning as it normally does.
It's one of the biggest challenges facing companies around the world.
Now it's time for China to boost global trade, which has been hard hit by the COVID pandemic. A look at China's biggest port shows how this can happen.
Ningbo have one of the biggest port of China, so it's good to export. Here, there is a lot of good suppliers that can fit your kind of product that you develop. The COVID was a big problem because of our supply chain, but other for us is okay. No complaint.
For 13 years, Ningbo Zhoushan Port has been the world's largest port in terms of cargo tonnage. Among all the goods being shipped out every day, a tiny portion belongs to Rodrigo.
Hello, my name is Rodrigo D'Angelo. I'm from Brazil. I'm living in China about 3.5 years now. I'm a designer and I work with different kinds of products, mostly fitness and kitchenware products.
So you see, this is one automatic package robot.
Oh, very nice. The robot folds the box.
Yeah. With this, we can save 2 labors.
Rodrigo's career in China started with a TV show featuring creative entrepreneurs. Winning a prize on the show in 2016 gave him opportunity of opening the first Brazilian design company in China.
I could choose other countries that could be cheaper, but why I choose China? China is the best place to manufacture products. So make all sense. I came to China to speed up production and make the product feasible.
Foreign investors agree with Rodrigo. From 2015 to 2020, China rose 59 places in the World Bank's Doing Business rankings. One factor leading to an improved business environment has been a shortened negative list for foreign investment. Since 2013, restricted areas have been reduced by 85%. 3 months after Rodrigo came to China, the COVID pandemic broke out. With world trade being hard hit, Rodrigo and his wife had to decide to stay or leave.
She's like an animal doctor and she works in the government in Brazil. So it's a high position. For her, it's very difficult to stop working in the government and come to China to follow my dream. She never have been in China before, but I told her, hey, China is amazing. China is safe, it's clean.
When we arrive here, maybe we learn to live like born again.
I don't know how to express this. If this is not love, I don't know what is.
After 2 years of adjusting to local life, the couple are glad they decided to stay. Rodrigo's business has been rewarded with 50% annual growth, in spite of the impact of COVID. The pandemic, in fact, has led to more online shopping, boosting his sales. A new barbecue machine he has been developing is about to hit the market.
There should be more than 200. Yes. The prototype before this one, the temperature is better than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not a reach.
Yeah, but the 220 and 127 should be same performance.
Wow.
Yes, quite different. That is.
One of the things that more impressed me is the speed of things happen here in China. Really, it's very fast. Not only construction, infrastructure, no. And the mindset of China is changed. China is an ecosystem that can understand a lot about products and can create innovation and products with high level quality.
Rodrigo's products have featured strongly in the best-selling lists of Brazil's biggest multi-channel retail platform. His success, in fact, has made him a familiar face on his home country's TV.
Bom, gente, agora é hora da gente apresentar para vocês o Rodrigo.
Tá, legal, legal.
O Rodrigo, obviamente, é um cara importante nessa história, né, João?
Então já pulou da cadeira e já foi lá discutir comigo, ver produto, detalhes e tudo mais. Aí ele já começou a perguntar, mas como que funciona o escritório? Como que funcionam os projetos? Aí a gente começou a discutir sobre China.
The number of expats living in China grew by more than 50% between 2010 and 2020. New arrivals include some now being born in the country.
Matter of fact, when I tell everyone, hey, I have a daughter made in China, because my second daughter born here in China.
Olivia is studying in a great school, and now she can speak Chinese fluently and English as well. And we expect this happen with Monica as well. Maybe she will start speak Chinese first, then Portuguese. I don't know.
I think so. In China here, it looks like we are living like in the future. Yeah, because of the buildings, because of technology and everything. And if you don't believe me, check my social media, check my Instagram. Then you.
The UN panel of experts has found that 1 million animal and plant species face extinction.
More than any other time in recorded history.
Nature is essential for our existence and a good quality of life.
China has one of the richest natural heritages in the world. In its southwestern province of Yunnan lives the Asian elephant, the largest land animal in the continent. Its daily routine is to eat, play, and sleep. To sustain its size, an adult spends 2/3 of the day feeding on grass and roots. Corn, rice, and sugarcane are its favorite food, even distiller's grain. The Asian elephant is classified as an endangered species. Thanks to protection efforts, their population in China has increased from 180 to nearly 300 in the past 40 years. In Xishuangbanna, there is a team of workers who specialize in rescuing and caring for Asian elephants. They are known as the Elephant Fathers. So far, Chen Ziming and his colleagues have rescued over 20 wild elephants.
我们这个陪伴大象呢，就像是陪伴自己的家人一样的去呵护、去疼爱它们。
7-year-old Yan Neil was left by her herd a week after she was born. Weak and helpless, she wouldn't have survived in the jungle. Luckily, Chen and his team found her and brought her up.
救助回来这些大象，然后通过自己每天的付出，然后它能够健健康康的在你旁边，像自己的孩子一样，围着你转。那个时候，我觉得是非常自豪的。其实大象它也有一种反馈的心理，有时候到野外做一些野外康复训练的时候呢，不小心崴到脚啦，它会用小鼻子把你拉一把，帮助你一把。
Eventually, rescued elephants will return to the forest where they belong.
所有的这个向往的经验，都希望这些所有的大象能够早日重返大自然。那我们是不会放弃，会一直的去探索、去发现、想办法的让他们尽早回到森林。
A herd of elephants.
While baby elephants are cute, their adult parents can make a lot of trouble.
Elephants are really protected here. So then I think that has led to a growing elephant population, and elephants are growing beyond these natural areas.
Ahimsa came to Xishuangbanna in 2016 to study the creature's behaviour and a better way for humans to coexist with their giant neighbours. The Spanish ecologist believes one of the reasons behind increasing human-elephant conflicts lies in China's success in forest conservation. Over the last decade, 1 in 4 trees has been planted in China.
When you go into very, very old growth forest, deep forest, there is almost no food for elephants. Elephants don't like to spend too much time there because there is not enough food. So elephants probably would like less this forest, but that's not a bad thing because we don't want to protect just elephants. We are here to protect biodiversity. That's the difficult job of a manager. They had to balance out different priorities.
然后森林好了以后，亚洲象可以挤食的一些草本植物逐渐的减少。然后亚洲象为了生还，它就会走出森林，进入老百姓的当地群众的生产生活区域。
A few days ago, a group of unexpected guests broke into this fish farm. The intruders then ran amok, leaving a mess behind when they left.
意思嘛，1/3了吧？鱼台全部塌了，鱼上在的，人家也是在这个下面的。
The Chinese government decided to compensate the villagers for their loss.
也人的老百姓的损失很大了嘛，这个补偿现在逐步在提高，为啥？啊，那个工费了嘛？你说然后那些田埂坏了以后，那些你要修复了的嘛，那可能就是不仅仅只是损失了。
To better help locals coexist with their giant neighbours, since 2019, Gua and his team have installed an early warning system made up of 600 infrared cameras.
红外相机目前为止是我们作为亚洲象监测的一个重要的一个手段。我们把红外相机安装在亚洲象经常出没的那些路径。 大家得注意一下，这段时间亚洲象活动比较频繁，对我们的一些野外的一些设备可能会造成一些损害。这一次出来主要就是要对我们的这些设备进行一些维修维护。那上面一定要小心啊，比较高。只要红外相机能够抓拍到了那头象以后，信息它会很快回传到我们的后台，10到15秒。 然后我们就会把这条信息推送到亚洲象出现的那个位置的那些周边村寨。
凤泽6队675庆头有亚洲象活动。
要保证我们的信息能够及时准确地传递给当地老百姓，尽可能的减少人与象遭遇的一个几率，减少人员伤亡的一个事件的发生。
In addition to their job of reducing conflict between elephants and humans, Gua and Ahimsa also plan to conduct a new study into how wild elephants impact the stock of carbon in forests.
我觉得这个地点比较合适。首先第一个就是我们这边是一条象的一个主要的一个通道，这个区域亚洲象经常在这个山区继续活动，是不是我们先进去看一下？ 哦，救命到了啊！救命拿子啊！
I think what is very interesting from this kind of studies that we can see cascading effects. So then we can see how elephants affect plants and how these effects spread over different communities and over the ecosystem. China is a pioneer in terms of technology, particularly in this kind of telecommunications, and so I think in that sense we have access to technological tools that are not available in other places. But if we're able to develop tools that work here, being it technological, being it in terms of policies or institutions, these kind of lessons can be transferred to other countries.
我们不能因为这个物种对我们人类吧造成了一些损失，我们就认为它是一个 坏的东西。那亚洲象作为西双版纳人民当中的一个非常神圣的一个物种，在过去很多人见到象，他会行跪拜的礼。我们当地的群众实际上对象非常崇拜。整个西双版纳不仅仅是我们人类的西双版纳，实际上也是我们整个动物的西双版纳，就是我们人与动物实际上是要和谐相处。
Over the past decade, China has established over 10,000 protected areas, accounting for 18% of its total land area. It has restored 1,200 kilometers of coastline and 23,000 hectares of coastal wetlands. More than 300 species of endangered wild animals and plants have seen their numbers recover. Working in China as a researcher offers Ahimsa a unique experience that nowhere else can provide, as well as a new perspective on the country's efforts in wildlife conservation.
I think China has made very positive improvement over the last 15 years or so. I think there has been a clear commitment towards conservation, and the case of elephants is a very good example. This is something that I admire about China, that the science is taken very seriously for policy making and decision making.
China has participated in international cooperation on biodiversity conservation for decades.
China is now a very important global player. So China has influence over conservation in Africa, all throughout Asia, Latin America. So I think that's for me the next challenge, bringing up this conservation commitment to anything that China is involved globally.
Economic growth and technological innovation are of greatest benefit when each individual has more choices, when shared prosperity leaves no one behind, and when the government can truly serve the people. With decades of hard work now bearing fruit, more Chinese now take pride in their history and have confidence in their culture and future than ever before. The change in mentality has in turn led to an increased willingness to shoulder responsibility at a global level.
当前，世界之变、时代之变、历史之变，正以前所未有的方式展开。人类社会面临前所未有的挑战。中国坚持对外开放的基本国策，坚定奉行互利共赢的开放战略，不断以中国新发展为世界提供新机遇，推动建设开放型世界经济，更好惠及各国人民。中国人民愿同世界人民携手开创人类更加美好的未来。